Yeah, so today we're going to cover a lot of fun stuff. Pulling up my notes right now. Apologies for popping in a little late. Had an emergency I had to handle just before the call, but we got it taken care of. So my plan today is to cover a lot of fun things. Firstly, we're going to kind of talk about our vision for Avalon, why we're building this product, how you can be a part of what it is we're doing. And I want to talk about what the team has been doing. I want to talk about kind of our culture here at Avalon. And then I'm going to show you some cool stuff in the game. I'm going to talk about how you can be a part of helping us build some of the future of Avalon. I'm going to dive into things like AI NPCs. AI is huge inside of Avalon. I'm going to talk about our worlds and our biomes. Most of you guys have just seen fantasy stuff so far, but I want you to see some of the other things we're working on, like cyberpunk and post-apocalyptic. Avalon, as you should know if you've been a part of our community, is a multi-genre universe. We want to pull in other IPs in the future. How cool would it be to have different characters from different universes inside of Avalon? Avalon ultimately is a multiverse after all. And then I'm talking about the community spotlight. In case you didn't know, we've had people building inside of Avalon recently, and I want to show some of the cool things that they've built with us. And if you're a builder too, you're a creator, and you want to build with us, that's the best opportunity to earn inside of Avalon. It's creating. We believe that user-generated content for creators can be far more fruitful inside of Web3, so there's huge opportunity there. So if you want to build with us, you want to create with us, we'd love to hear from you. And then I'm talking about what's next, where we're going into the future, alpha, beta, launch, and our creator program and some other things. So,
yep. So as you guys can see, we got a pretty full schedule today. But just to let you guys know, for anybody that's joining late, today we are talking to Sean Pinnock. In case you don't know who Sean Pinnock is our CEO. He is our fearless leader. He is the dreamer behind everything Avalon. So you guys want to listen to the best source for information that you can possibly get. This is your guy. So pay attention, guys. Sit up and take note.
Thank you, Alex. I'm just a guy that, like many people in the world and like many people in Avalon, have a dream of building something really cool. And I'm very grateful to have amazing people like Alex and many other folks that are in the call that are on this team to be helping build this thing. It's really, Avalon is really one of the most ambitious games like ever to be tried to be built. The potential for Avalon is incredible, right? We're talking about taking user-generated content and making it more accessible than some of the best UGC platforms, like things like Roblox, but then also creating tooling on top of it that makes it easier for you to make not just regular content, but like really beautiful, high quality, high standard content, and then making all those things interoperable, right? And so that why do all these things? Why make it so that people can create these worlds, create these games? Well, it's because like my co-founder Jeff, myself, many people on my team, we should have this vision of the term is really overused, but it's really the most applicable term if you think about it in the classical sense, and that's an oasis or a metaverse. And really, it's impossible for a team, regardless of its size, to build something like that, right? Like you could spend billions and billions of dollars, like Meta's done, and not create the Ready Player One we saw from the movie, or if you read the books. And so, our vision for actually getting there is to create these tools, use AI as well, and make it really easy for people to create their own content, create their own worlds. And then as that becomes more approachable, more successful, we'll have many intellectual property coming inside of Avalon, a few of which we're in talks with already, to build content inside of this universe. And then over the course of, years, I foresee myself building Avalon for decades. You would have something that looks something like a metaverse. And so that's our dream. That's our vision. Again, one of the most ambitious projects ever made. And certainly inside of that universe, there should be digital ownership, digital sovereignty, right? People should own the things that they build. I mean, that to me is a no-brainer. And that's really what attracted me to Web3 initially. And of course, for creators, there's tons of opportunity there when you're creating things. How do I create something and then have somebody else go and remix it or change it, and then somebody else go and remix it or change it, and then everybody earn revenue, right? And it gets even more complicated with complex intellectual property. Think companies like the Pokemon company, or Bandai Namco, or pick your large company. the blockchain has a really clever solution with smart contracts for solving this problem in a way that's very automated. It doesn't require a handshake deal for creators to come in and to build content. So I really think there's a perfect alignment for what we're trying to do with Avalon and what it is we ultimately want to build with intellectual property and this multiverse. So the opportunity here is massive.
It's huge.
So I just had a lot of flowery, cool, nice things. We're about 8 minutes in. I'm gonna go ahead. I want to actually give you guys a real sneak peek. Like, what is, Sean, Avalon, you guys have been fairly quiet. What the heck are you guys actually doing? What are you guys really doing? And so I want to give you a true behind the scenes view of what it is we do here at Avalon. My team, myself, we've been really hard at work for years now building a thing, mostly behind the scenes because, we're kind of the mentality show, don't tell. And I think a lot of people in Web3 and not just in Web3, but, by and large do a lot more telling than showing. And I don't think that's the way to get people really excited about a thing in the long run. And so with that being said, I want to show you guys some things. I want to show you how we actually build inside of Avalon. I want to show you some of the work we've been doing, and I'm going to give you the real nitty gritty. So let me preface before I show you this stuff. This is actual in development features. A lot of the things you're seeing here aren't going to be perfect. There's things that we are constantly changing, constantly updating. And that's the nature of this. Okay. With all that to say, I'm going to open up one of our Miro boards. It's called a weekly review. It's called a weekly review Miro board. And so we've been doing this now for about 2 years. But basically, the team every week. I'm gonna go ahead and. Is it going to let me share my screen? Let's see.
Give it a shot, Sean. I can give it a description of what we're going to be looking at. So just so you guys know, what you're going to be looking at is every Friday, every single member of the Avalon team posts a visual review of the work that we've done over the course of the week. And that covers literally everybody. So our engineers, our designers, our artists, even me as the marketing person, I share the marketing content that I put out over the course of the week. And like Sean said, we've been doing this for a couple of years now. What you're seeing right here that Sean's got up is one of our boards that we've had going for a couple months, because since it's such a huge graphical update every single week, these boards tend to get very heavy, and we get to the point where if we let them run too long, they can take like 5 or 10 minutes to load because there's so many pictures and video and stuff like that. So yeah. So every quarter we make a new one. We've been doing it for like Alex said, a couple of years now. And so, I can just zoom out and you can see just the amount of work, that we're doing. And again, this is just this quarter. We have tons and tons and tons of these. And this is, all the work the team's doing. We look at this as a team every week. One of the huge challenges with a remote company, which we're a remote company, is communication. And we found that working out of Miro and doing this weekly review process is a really great way for people to bring the work forward up to the rest of the team and then share that. And it's been very fruitful since we started doing that process. One of the huge advantages we get from being remote is we get incredible talent from all over the world. And we've got amazing developers out of Brazil, folks out of South Korea, folks all over Europe, folks in America, all over the world. And we're really only able to do that. Europe, UK, even Africa, and we're really only able to do that because of this remote work nature and because of the way we bring information. And I think at this point we've gotten really good at it. And one of the other huge advantages too is there's no commute, so we can be working till midnight or 1 a.m., which many of us were doing last night, and do so on a regular basis, although we probably shouldn't. And it's just, hey, we're done working. Okay, great. Turn off the computer, go downstairs, right? Which is really nice. So we can put a lot of energy into actually building the product. So I'm just going to quickly run through I'm going to highlight some cool things in this weekly review. Again, this is all in progress stuff, but I just want to give you some of the nitty gritty. So this is some work that Andy was working on. Look at the incredible detail on this potion. Again, I'm just picking things at random here. One of our animators is working on some blending of our characters, our character creator. Here's our gameplay programmer. I'm not saying names just to keep things a little more private, but I'm sure you guys may see some of them. Here we're creating some weapons, new weapon that's coming down the pipeline. Here's looks like a bit of design work, balancing.
And so we could just go and look at all these things. And we've talked about maybe making some of this stuff more. Here's our character creator we're working on. We've got an awesome character creator we're building right now. One of the most advanced characters I've ever seen in the game. So you'll be able to like transform into different species, like dragonborns, humans, cat people, and then actually hybridize between them. And what's really cool about this too is when you're creating these characters, you're not just creating them for yourself, but you can create them as AI NPCs. So if you're a creator, you want to create some monsters in your game, well, you can use our very advanced character creator to create characters for monsters. Assign them attributes, health, stamina, whatever. Give them special abilities, give them a weapon, change their scale, put them in the game. Maybe make a dungeon crawler with a bunch of monsters you've created.
I'm still waiting for us to be able to make a 40-foot tall goblin. Like seriously, I want Godzilla and I want it now.
Yeah, Godzilla is going to be one of the first bosses in the game. He's a huge goblin. We're creating a lot of other content, obviously, but Godzilla is going to be the first one. Here's our environment artist doing some incredible environment work. But again, this is just 1 week, and I've not even gone through halfway forward. So we are very hard at work over here. Here's some character stuff from our art directors. Incredible stuff here. Here's our I think it's our dwarf people. Yeah, these are dwarf people we're creating. Here's our reference for the dwarven people. So these are going to be beautiful by the time they're done. Really excited about these dwarves coming in here soon. One of the new POIs, the points of interest, part of our map that we're creating. So we're building away over here. Okay. I think I'm going to load up the game now. So I'm going to stop streaming here. Let's pop into Avalon. Let's actually show some of the cool stuff that we're doing. I'm going to reshare my screen. Just a minute. Let me log in first.
You mean you don't want to show people your password, Sean? Come on.
Yeah. So we want to start doing this on a more regular cadence. And we're probably going to open this up to a greater audience. Like we're doing this in our Discord, which is really like people that already mostly know about Avalon. But I think we're going to start doing this sort of thing with other streamers, with other creators, with other builders on Twitch, probably rebroadcast, Kick and Rumble and other locations, X, of course. But we've really intentionally been doing this just in Discord for a while because we haven't been ready. We haven't been ready to show the game at large. But we're pretty close now. I think we're about at the point where we can start getting more just general gamers excited about Avalon. Okay, so
for sure, and there is a ton to be excited about, and yeah, moving away from Discord is definitely on the roadmap. I know that we've had several people in here today who have been having some visual issues, seeing video and stuff like that. So that's just another reason for us to move to other platform.
Yeah, so we're in the process of redoing our website right now. I see some folks talking about our quest system. The quest system was, it was really about garnering interest in the Web3 ecosystem, but a lot of the quests are actually going to move into the game. So creating with us and building with us inside of the game. And then we're going to have a more traditional, like gamer focused website's going to be going on live here in about a month. I see another person online right now.
Yeah, by the way, Sean, you're showing the wrong window. You're showing Discord.
Oops. Apologies, let me restream. It said Avalon and I got tricked. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can see it now. Good to go.
All right, so I've loaded in as a skeleton human hybrid. It just shows like we can create all kinds of cool characters here. You probably have seen this before. So this is when you first plop into Avalon, this is where you land. And in this side of this area, this is like an introductory zone. You'll actually have to craft weapons and that sort of thing in the future. But let's show some basic combat. So combat in Avalon, it's meant to be very action-oriented, skill-based. We've been inspired by games like Elden Ring, Black Desert Online, God of War, but then repurposing, retooling, and reimagining how those games, although outside of Black Desert, could work in an MMO context. And so while the combat systems aren't as advanced as those games, like we're not saying, hey, we've got the best combat ever. It's just got a solid foundation, and it's fun. It's fun to kill things. It's fun to fight things, and it's fun to create and battle new monsters. So my character's got a basic axe. We'll do some battle with some goblins here. And so I see I've got a ranged enemy here. I've got a melee one. So I'm going to dodge the ranged enemy. So you can see I'm actually dodging those attacks with that dodge roll. Cool. And I'm going to try and take him out now. Cool. And so you have to think through how you're going to do encounters, right? You got to skillfully use your abilities.
And you gotta drop from each one of those guys. You got
nice.
what looked like a you look like you got a health potion drop. And then
nice. Yeah, we got a health potion.
Ooh, greater health
here?
potion.
Oh, great sword.
Great sword.
Oh, great sword. Oh, awesome. So I got one of the great swords. And so we've got loot tuned up a bit for testing so we can test all the weapons. But this one's a pretty cool one. This one's actually got a special ability. So you're in Avalon, your abilities are actually tied to your gear. And so when you're creating characters, you're creating content, you're actually, when you create abilities, you'll attach them to gear. And so this weapon actually came with a new ability. It's called Greatsword Slam. So if I hold right click, you can see my character charges up and I go for a big slam, right? This ability is actually pretty powerful. So it's a pretty good find. But there's all different kinds of abilities and weapons. And again, you can create your own. You can mix and stuff inside of Avalon to create your own abilities. We have what's called the Forge here. I'll actually pull it up now. So we have what's called the Forge here in Avalon. And so inside of the Forge, this is where you create NPCs. Like if I wanted to create a new character, I could give them a weapon. AI. I'm not going to do AI today because AI deserves 30 minutes at least of talk to show all the cool stuff in AI.
That's a much bigger conversation.
Yeah. But all the characters in the game have AI, and you can create your own AI personalities as well. In fact, we're putting a wiki live that shows all the personalities that we've created and people from our community have created. So you can go through and you can see them all, but you could assign a personality. You can create a personality here. Some basic stats you can set. We're expanding this over time. This is very basic right now, this NPC editor, but we want to add tons more attributes, tons more fields in the future. But this is where you can create abilities, right? Give it some VFX. We can change the name of it. And then items isn't in yet, but we'll have items soon. And when you create your abilities, you can assign them to your items. So.
And let me tell you guys firsthand how terrifying it is when you create a Goblong and you crank its movement speed up to max, and it is literally zipping. It is zipping around you like the Flash, and you're dead in about 3 seconds.
Yeah. So I don't want to spend too long in the game demo here, just because we're short on time. We should probably make that one knocked down. We could see the amount of damage that did. Just for the sake of time, I'm going to exit combat here, and I'm going to enter into creator mode, and I'm going to start flying around. Josh did an excellent job, I think a couple of weeks ago, of showing off creator mode, so I'm not going to dive into that again right now. Please watch that video if you want to learn more about creator mode. But I am going to go ahead and fly around and show you some more of the map. So the world is quite large. Go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was going to say, one of the really cool things you guys can notice as Sean's flying around is that both the time of day and the weather that we have in the game is dynamic. So you'll notice that right now it's a little bit foggy. That fog will clear up throughout the day. As the sun rises and sets, it's different, varied based on location and stuff like that. So, there's a lot that's going on at any given time. And it's not just the individual characters, it's also the world around you that's changing. Yeah.
Next time we do this, I really want to dive into AI. It's really fun. I think it's one of the things that makes Avalon unique, is this world full of, unique entities. This is our world. I'm not sure how much we've talked about this in the past, but so the first world into Avalon is about the size of Skyrim, and each world's going to be at least up to that large. Maybe some will be larger, maybe some will be smaller. This is just one floor of many that are going to be inside of Avalon. So this is the first floor. And when you defeat all the content here, a floor boss will spawn. And when you defeat the floor boss, you'll be able to ascend the spire to the next floor. And we actually will have our creators creating these floors with us. It's what it's going to accelerate the process. And then, of course, if you don't care about the floor system, you don't care about the role-playing game experience that we've built, then you can just build your own games, build your own experiences completely adjacent to our floor system. Give me a second. Okay. Okay. So I just want to show some more of the map off. We're going to fly over to some more locations. Just Donmia is the starting village. A lot of your initial quests are going to be coming from here. A lot of the initial AIs, characters you'll meet will be from here. We are populating the whole world right now, slowly over time. We built a new area over here. I'm flying as fast as I can over to this new location. But this is the Endless Falls. It's the second or third biome the player will eventually get to. Is audio of the game coming through, by the way, Alex?
Let me check. I had it muted because Discord was showing. But yes, it's coming through fine.
Okay, cool. So this is the second town location they're coming up over here. This was something recently built by our team.
This should really tell you guys something about the size of the map, because
yeah, look how long it's taking me to fly.
The speed that Sean is flying at is about 5 times the speed of the normal player character movement. So he is really, really cooking across the map, and it still looks like he's moving at a snail's pace.
Yeah, the map is massive. It's hard to really appreciate when you're flying from this bird's eye view, but like when you're on the character like ground level, like getting over here will take you a very long time, and you'll have to fight through a ton of content to get over here. And again, this is just the first map, and we're building more. Yeah, here's a village we recently put together. It took the team, a little less than a week, and all this stuff, like really important to know, this is all built with our building tools that we're giving you guys. So like you're gonna be able to create content like this very rapidly. In fact, if you haven't seen our building discussion yet, you'll know that a lot of this stuff is gonna be prefab. You can just download this stuff, create your own content with it. But yeah, this is a gorgeous map or part of the map that the team made recently. Let me see if I can find that witch's hut. I think it's back here.
It is directly in front of you.
Yeah, cool. So this is a witch's hut that was put together recently, but you can just see the level of detail that you can create inside of Avalon. It's really impressive.
And Sean's
scary stuff in here.
Sean's giving you guys just a very quick look at the witch's hut right now. We've actually got some content that's coming out later this week that'll be up on Discord, where we're going to be doing a full fly through of the witch's hut specifically.
Right.
We've already got that videoed out, so look for that later on this week, guys.
Yeah, so I don't think I have time to fly over here, but I'm going to start flying over this direction and I'm going to talk about it. So the biggest city on the first part of the map in the world is called Starhaven. And so Starhaven is our capital city. It's going to be massive, several times as large, huge walls. It's going to use our castle kit. And we want folks from our community to help us build it. There'll be an opportunity for land ownership on that part of the map, which is really important. And yeah, we want folks from our community to help us build it. It's going to be multiple levels. We've got a piece of concept I can share with the community, or we can share with the community later for what that's going to look like. It's going to be sprawling, bustling merchants, guild halls. It's going to be essentially a central hub for the future of Avalon. Starhaven, even though it's on the first floor, and there's many, many floors, I imagine that Starhaven's going to be like where people take portals when they're traveling around the different floors. They're all going to be landing in Starhaven. So Starhaven's a really, really important part of the Avalon universe. And yeah, we want folks from our community to help us build it. So if you're a builder, you're a creator, you want to help us build, let us know so we can bring you in and have you actually create Starhaven with us. So I'm nearly there. So this is the Ruby Archipelago, which is one of the many biomes inside of Avalon. But over here on this corner of the map is where Starhaven is going to be. So it kind of comes into the Ruby Archipelago. It stretches out over into the abyss and goes into the meadows as well. So it's going to be absolutely massive. So like all of this area over here is going to be Starhaven. So yeah, would love to pull you guys in and have you build Starhaven with us. Okay, so I think it's enough of the game for right now. There'll be lots more opportunities to show more of the game in the future. I would now like to show you guys some of our community creations.
Yeah, show them that board. And while you're pulling that up, we've had 2 questions that I've seen kind of repeated over and over from the community that I think we could probably answer. The first one was how would we compare Minecraft or Roblox or Fortnite with their UGC to Avalon? How would we what's the comparison?
Those are like 3 very different games when it comes to their creative platforms. It's so Avalon has similarities to all of them, but it's different to them as well. So Roblox and Fortnite, I would say, are very powerful tools in what you can create because they give you programming languages to build things inside of. I mean, especially Fortnite, with UEFN, you essentially have access to Unreal Engine plus Verse, But the problem or the challenge, in my opinion, with UEFN is a few things. One, it's very complex to create inside of UEFN, and same thing with Roblox. Like Roblox is a little more accessible, but not like you need to really be a developer to create inside of UEFN in Roblox, and because you're writing verse or some of the programming language. So that's the biggest delta. In Avalon, when you're actually creating game logic, we've abstracted all of that for you into a system called Merlin, where you're basically taking cards and you're snapping them together in order to create game logic, game experiences. So you don't have to learn how to program. And we're eventually going to be feeding that to AI as well. So like if you want to create game vibe, vibe code, vibe create entire game experiences. So like there's no technical, it's much easier to create content in Avalon than it is in those things. That's the first thing. Secondly, it's more advanced than Minecraft, right? So I would say in terms of like difficulty of creating, you have Minecraft over here, which is as easy and as simple as it is with very few complex features, unless you're like doing some crazy modding. And then you have like UEFN over here. Avalon kind of sits in the middle. But that's the first thing where we're really different is I would say the accessibility. But the second thing that's really important is this idea of like a persistent set. And I think this is a really cool concept that makes Avalon really special. It's this idea of like, hey, there's this role-playing game rule set. Think something like a Dungeons and Dragons, where when you're creating content, you're creating universes inside of Avalon, you can subscribe to that rule set. And so what that means is, hey, I'm like playing I'm playing inside of Avalon main, Avalon core, like the games that we've made, and I can actually take my character progression and my items and my stats into an experience that somebody in our community made. Maybe they made a battle royale, maybe they made a dungeon crawler, maybe they made a roguelike, but I can actually take my character in there and I can get items and I can get rewards from that new experience that somebody else made, and I can bring that with me to other people's content. So you have this idea of like a persistent living universe, right? Now imagine like extending this to other IP. Now, like let's say as an example, we work with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which would be incredible, and somebody built a Superman world. Now I could create, I could bring my character with me and go battle Superman, right? Or so sorry, DC, Superman is DC, but Thor, right? I could go battle Thor. Okay, I'm re-sharing my screen so I can show you guys some community creations. That was the wrong screen. So here's just to highlight a few folks from our community that built recently, mostly Broken Stoic, thank you, and some other folks. But you can see just in the last couple of weeks, people are coming in, building really original stuff. Like, look at this cool thing. And I can imagine like as more people come in and create inside of Avalon, there's going to be all kinds of amazing creations that are being made. This is gorgeous here. And some of this stuff, by the way, guys, we're actually pulling into our main game. And when we're talking about like rewards for builders, like this is like people that create content inside of our main game are absolutely going to be in the top of our mind when it comes to rewards for builders. So yeah, like look at how awesome some of this stuff is built by our community just in the last few weeks. This thing is gorgeous here, built by Chris from Astrofish. Yeah, so this is some really awesome stuff. And then look at, here's some Cyberpunk stuff we have in the works too. I wanted to show you guys. So if you've seen some of our older content, you know that we've got Cyberpunk in the works. Here's our latest Cyberpunk kit, which we're really proud of. We're still playing with the colors a little bit, but this is really coming together nicely. And, imagine, getting an Excalibur or something from our high fantasy world and then bringing it into the Cyberpunk world and then, blowing up some robots. That's going to be really, really cool. So yeah, I wanted to show that off on a high note of if you're a creator again and you want to build with us, we want you in here, we want you creating with us. Right now, our creative tools are mostly around like this sort of building. We've got the item creator and the weapon creator and the building creator coming in shortly. And so if you're a creator, you want to do those things, you'll be doing those things soon. And then following that, which is in the works, and we have it working in the back end. In fact, many of the features inside of Avalon work this way, is Merlin, and that's our game logic creator, and that's coming in soon as well. So those are most things I wanted to talk about today. I guess we can talk about the future next steps. So the future at Avalon is bright. We are pushing. I would say we're in like alpha right now. If I had to put a phrase on it, we are pushing towards more of a beta, and inside of beta, we're gonna have more people in. So right now we're bringing folks in under like an alpha pretense. We're pushing towards beta. When we get to beta, there'll be some larger open beta periods where creators will and players will be able to come in. So if you're a player and you just want to play the game, excuse me, I got a bit of a cough. If you just want to play the game, coming in during beta would be the time to do it rather than alpha, and that'll be in, I would say, a few more months. And then we're going to open up the game sometime early next year. The timeline is still up in the air. It depends on where we're at with various partnerships, where the industry's at. But sometime early next year is when we're going to be opening up the game. So I think I can move on to questions now if we would like to do questions.
Okay. The only other one that's really popped up multiple times is kind of concerning how the game will run on various hardware, kind of what the requirements are going to be. And then also tied in with that, are we going to move beyond just standard PCs? Are we going to go to consoles? Are we going to be with virtual reality headsets, things like that? What are we kind of looking at there?
Yeah, so we're targeting PC initially. We are planning on targeting consoles as well. Our min spec is essentially equivalent to the current generation consoles. So think your PS5, this Xbox. And what that actually means in computer terms is like RTX 2070. I'm going to try and push that lower. I don't know if we can, but RTX 2070 as min spec or an AMD equivalent. And then I think like a 12th or 11th Gen i5. You're going to need an SSD as well. So that's our min spec currently again, and we're going to try and push that lower. I don't know if we can. Like we're really, next generation with this game. So I see some other questions in here. Let's see. Yeah, the building is actually like the building is slapping together these sort of things is actually really easy. I would say it's comparable, not as easy as Minecraft, but like close to that. Like it's a Valheim. It's a Terraria. It's not very difficult, and you can create these gorgeous structures. Now it's more advanced too. Like if you want to get deeper with it, there's more tooling you can open yourself up to create more complex things that require a little bit more experience. But this stuff's really easy.
A great example is right there in front of Sean. You see that there's a picture kind of almost dead center in the screen where there looks like a big spiky tentacle sticking up out of the ground. That is literally a big spiky tentacle sticking up out of the ground that was built using our tools in game, using pieces from our environment that we have to build with. So, you can build, just your standard 4 walls and a roof on a house if you want to. But if you want to build, big spiky tentacle sticking up out of the ground that, is indicative of a giant monster that's living under there, you can do that too.
And that's what's so cool about it. Yeah, and I'm not even, who built this, Alex? I'm not sure who built this. Do we know?
That was actually built by Josh, our very own Josh Nipstein, who you guys remember from the campfire a couple months ago.
But what's so cool about this too is like, imagine how creative people are going to get. Like you could use Merlin to make this thing move, and then you could put damage colliders on it, and then like imagine the kind of cool boss you could create. Okay, so when should we be expecting beta? We don't have a definitive date right now. Sometime over the next few months is our goal. Token with beta or later. Token's going to be sometime later. I do have a request from our community as well. I really want to get gamers excited about Avalon, right? Like if we're going to bring, like this is mostly a web audience in here. If we're going to bring, if we're going to actually create mass adoption in Web3, like the whole like when token like narrative has to go away. Like we don't get me wrong, like that is part of the goal. That's part of the ambition. That is something we're eventually doing. But like if gamers come into our Discord and it's flooded with when token, they're just going to leave. And so like we need to be more accessible to gamers. We need to get them excited about what it is we're doing here at Avalon, about actually playing the game, right? What other questions we got?
I haven't seen a whole bunch else other than a lot of people asking how and when they're going to be able to get into the beta since you brought it up. But just to let you guys know, that's a process that we have ongoing. I will be posting in Discord when we have specific steps available for people to be able to submit applications and sign up to join the beta program. As Sean said, it's an ongoing process. So it is not going to be, we're just opening the floodgates and everybody who wants to get in is going to get in all at once. We're going to be letting people in smaller batches, in stages, because we want to make sure that everybody's having a good experience. We want to make sure that everything is stable. We don't want to let in, everybody's been through a bad game launch. And so we don't want to just open the doors to everybody and then all of a sudden the servers go down and nobody can play at all. We want to make sure that everybody can make sure that they're able to get in.
Absolutely. So I would say like if you're in the community and you really want to be a part of this, the best thing you can do is actually create with us, right? The questing stuff is very appreciated, and we appreciate all of you being a part of our questing system. But the best way to to partake in what it is we're doing is to create with us, and that's really the vision for Avalon is creators are going to help us build this universe together. So if you want to be a part of that, reach out to our staff. We don't have like a formal sign up process right now, but reach out to our staff, and we are slowly trickling people in right now, people that are part of our community, excited about what we're doing and want to build with us. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to create with you. There's other ways to partake in our community besides building, and we are open to exploring all of those opportunities with you guys.
I will say on that note, guys, because Sean specifically said reach out to the staff. The best way to reach out to the staff is to open a collab ticket in the Discord server. We answer those. Please do not ping people with the Avalon staff role in general chat. They will not be answering your questions there. If you have any questions about getting into the beta and stuff like that, please open a collaboration ticket.
Yeah, so Chaps had asked a question about, how else could we support the game? We let us think about that. Let us think about what to do there. We do think some sort of like community, I don't want to say the word Kickstarter, but something along those lines maybe in our future. But right now, we're really focused more on building community, building audience. Like honestly, right now, our audience is relatively small. I appreciate all of you in here, but we need to 10x this. We need to 100x this. And I know that we can do it. I know that our content is good enough. I know that the game we built is more than good enough, but we got to get out in front of those people. We got to talk about what it is we're building, because look, this is the ultimate game. This is the game every nerd wants to play. And we are actually building it, and we're actually along the way to seeing that thing be real. Right? This isn't bullshit. You guys have seen the game. You've seen all the work that we're doing. We're heading in that direction. But I think we're going to need community support to get us the rest of the distance. So, we're going to be bringing this over to Twitch. We're going to be bringing this over to other social platforms. We're going to be working with large streamers, both inside and outside of Web3, to bring this to more people, because the game is, I would say, close enough now to where it's digestible for a larger general audience. Yeah, that's really the next step for us, I think, is building community. And then we may do some sort of, community fundraising approach or something. We'll see. Yeah, it's got to be the right thing.
And we're already running about 10 minutes over, so we'll grab one more question and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. So the other one is here, for creators that might want to build their own games and experiences. What questions would you have them ask themselves when choosing to build with Avalon and Merlin versus something like Unreal or Godot, something like that?
So I noticed a few more questions in the chat too, and I just want you guys to know I'm going to respond to some of these afterwards. There's some really good pointed questions here, and I don't want you to think we're being evasive, so I'm going to respond to some of those later. But your question was why build an Avalon as opposed to other platforms? One, because it's easier to build the things you actually want to build. That's the most important thing. Is you want to actually build some sort of game. It actually, that's not always going to be true. Actually, there's going to be some, if you want to build a card game, you should go build an Unreal Engine. That's not what we're doing. But if you want to build some content on top of our rule set, it's really easy to do inside of Avalon. Something you could do it by yourself in days or weeks rather than many years like we've spent building. So that's the biggest thing. And then there's better monetization opportunities out of our platform. There's going to be more rewards for creators than other platforms. I think platforms like Roblox especially are very exploitive of their creators, and that's the opposite of what we're doing. Our creators are going to earn significantly more than in the side of those other platforms.
Awesome. So all right, well, yeah, like I said, we ran about 10-12 minutes over time, so I hope everybody had fun today. I hope you guys got a good look behind the scenes. Like Sean said, we're gonna stick around in the general chat. We'll try and answer some of the questions that we had here. So let's go ahead and shift the conversation over there. And thanks so much for coming out and talking to everybody and showing off some great stuff today, Sean.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Again, I'll answer a few more questions in the chat, so I'll hang around for a bit and answer some questions there. But thank you guys for coming. If you enjoyed this, let us know. We want to do more of these kind of things, more sneak peeks. We don't want to be quiet about what we're building, and we're going to be bringing this to more platforms. So again, thank you all very much.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Have a great Thursday.